Hello guys, Kachuba back with another video. Okay, so guys, I want to talk about this issue that's currently trending in South Africa. The whole appointment of the second um, police minister. The surname is Catalia. I just forgot the name, right? He's a professor apparently. Okay, so guys, by the way, I've got some notes as well, so I just don't feel too bad if I'm looking down, right? Okay, so let's start before we go to Catalia, right? Let's start with Mr. Senzo, right, and talk about him first. Mr. Senzo is not a former police officer, no experience at all in the police. I just want you guys to bear with me and listen to this so that you can understand how bad and how rubbish the ANC is, right? Mr. Senzo is not an ex-police officer, zero experience in the police, right? But this guy is then made a minister of police. This Catalia person, he's a professor of something that has absolutely nothing to do with police, right? And even if he was a professor of police, if something like that exists, the only thing that would matter, has he ever been a police officer? Right? How would you know the challenges of police officers when you've never been a police officer? You see, so only in South Africa can something like this happen. Only in SA, right? The whole world, or the serious world, is probably looking at us. And when I say us, I'm not even including white people. I'm putting white people aside. Black people, because black people are the government, right? The world is looking at black people and thinking, wow, in what world do you take a nurse and make them the principal of a high school? Only in South Africa does that happen, right? So, this Catalia person now becomes the minister, right? Absolutely no experience in policing. This guy actually takes the job. See, I want to show you the moral degradation of South African politics, right? This guy, if he had any morality, he was supposed to say no when the president approached him and said, I want to give you this job. He was supposed to say, no, I don't have the experience. I have an engineering background. If someone said, go and be the CEO of a hospital, I would say no. Doesn't matter how big the salary is. For a simple reason, I know nothing about the Department of Health. It's not my area of expertise. Those who know Thomas Sowell, right, might have come across. Thomas Sowell is a Black American professor who studied in Harvard, if I'm not mistaken. Very smart man. He's still alive. He's quite old now, but very wise guy. Take an opportunity to go listen to that guy speak, right? Consume his content. He talks about how academics, right, for some reason, when academics are competent in a particular area of life, right, they for some reason develop the confidence to talk about other areas of life that they're not competent in. So you are a professor in, I don't know if ever there's such a thing as a professor in accounting, right? Let's just say there is. But suddenly when issues of the military come up, you feel like you talk about those issues as if you are an authority in those issues, and you want to be taken seriously when you speak, right? God forbid, if a job comes up in that space and someone were to offer it to you, you'd even take that job, right? Only academics do this. And Thomas Sowell says they do this for one reason, because in most cases, there are no consequences for an academic getting things wrong. So in other words, when Catalia messes up, right, and he will mess up because he has no experience, no skills in the area of policing, right? Life is all about skills, guys. Don't let anyone confuse you. It's all about skill set. Do you have the skills to deal with these things? that are in front of you. If you don't, you won't deal with them. If you do have the skills, you will. It's that simple. So Catalia will mess up, right? And when he messes up, he'll just be removed, right? And there'll be absolutely no consequence. So in other words, all the people that will die in South Africa because of crime, right, related to either police corruption or police incompetency, right, or anything that has to do with the police not being a good organization in SA, Catalia, right, won't bear any responsibility in his tenure as minister. You see? Because that's just how it is, right? He's an academic, right? And that's the thing. An academic can just come in and act as if they know. And if they don't, and if it gets proven that they don't know, they just get removed and absolutely no consequences. Right. So okay. So that's my first gripe. Well, one of my gripes is the fact that this guy had the opportunity, or because for me, this guy is already deleted in my mind. This guy had the opportunity to say no to Cyril because he knows he's not competent, but he said yes. Right. So already I don't take him seriously. You see? Okay. So then the other thing is this, right? This guy, the first comment he makes regarding South African policing, right? The first comment, and this is even before the 1st of August, when he starts, right? I'm making this video on the 1st of August. Even before, he goes on platforms and he talks about how police officers should not shoot to kill, right? We all know that. Who doesn't know that? And who says the police officers are doing that, right? Police officers only kill criminals when criminals are trying to kill them. Or obviously we know that. We're not living in a state where police officers are going around killing criminals willy-nilly for free. So that statement didn't even need to be made, right? But because Mr. Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, right, is perceived to be a rogue cop who goes around killing criminals, and Mr. Mkhwanazi has said many times that that's not what he does, or that's not what the KZN police do. Criminals in KZN are very aggressive. I'm actually from KZN. Criminals in KZN are very aggressive, right? And okay, guys, sorry about that disturbance, right? I ran out of memory, but I've deleted. I'm back. So I was saying, criminals in KZN are very aggressive, right? So they shoot first most of the time, and that's all that the police there do. They shoot back when they are being shot at, right? I mean, that's just common sense. So my problem is this guy goes on TV and the first thing he talks about is that rubbish, right? Which already tells you that this guy is being sent by the same corrupt ANC to now try and stop people like Mkhwanazi or Mr. Mkhwanazi. You see, it tells you that he's an agent already. Out of all the pressing issues that the police have, why is that the first thing he talks about? And he talks about it even before he starts work, right, on the 1st of August. It tells you that this guy's been sent by either the president, the government. Remember, good cops are not an asset to the ANC. Good cops over time will expose the ANC. So they want to stop good cops. So this guy is sent there. He's sent there to go and stop people like Mkhwanazi. You see, that's what he's been sent there for. So that's why that's his first comment, right? So I really wish that guy fails dismally, because I know I can see through why he's there, right? So there's that. Okay. So then now, okay, the other thing that I have here is basically the president hiring that guy. First of all, he's so old, right? I mean, he's so old. Why is some old guy who's retired? If ever normal civil servants retire at 65, why is that guy still getting hired as a new minister when he's old? I mean, all of that must stop. There's nothing different between a politician and a normal civil servant. You see, so that just irritates me on its own, basically. But okay, let's put that aside, right? The president, right? I've touched on this. The president, not only the president, the party, the ANC, is scared to hire someone really competent in that position, right? Very scared because they are all rotten and they know that someone competent is going to get them in trouble. So that is why they must always hire an incompetent person to be in that space, right? Look at the last three police ministers. Begitele, Senzo, this new Catalia guy. All of these people have nothing to do with the police. Know nothing about policing. Yeah, so it's that, and a lot of people forget that they always talk about the 9 lost years in Jacob Zuma's presidency. Cyril Ramaphosa, the current president, was the deputy president during that time. It's always funny how the ANC messes up the country, but then talk as if someone else messed it up. That's always funny to me. Like, it's always interesting. They talk about things that are messed up as if another political party was in power, and then they have just gotten power, born as the ANC, and then now they find things messed up. It's the most amazing thing, right? It's the most amazing thing when you watch it. I've even heard it even from the premier of Gauteng, Mr. Lissouf. When he speaks as though a different political party was in charge of Johannesburg. As if it was another political party that's responsible for Johannesburg being so dilapidated. It's always amazing to see. These people are the epitome of incompetence. Right? Rubbish human beings, guys. But anyway, let me continue. You know, I wrote a bit here. Please bear with me. So, now, among other things, now this thing here now, the fact that we currently now have 2 police ministers, right? If I'm not mistaken, we'll be paying them over 2 million a year, right? 2 police ministers in a country with one of the highest crime rates in the world. Just think about that. You'd expect that if a country had 2 police ministers, right, that would mean they are taking policing very seriously. And it would show in the results. The crime rate would be low, right? That's what you'd think. Nope. So we have high crime, yet we're paying 2 police ministers, right? A year, it's going to be over 2 million. And I'm not even sure whether it's 2 million per minister or 2 million together, but it doesn't matter. It's a lot of money. Both of them don't deserve it. All right? Why are we paying 2 police ministers? Because the president didn't have the balls to suspend Mr. Senzo. But then again, why would you suspend someone who you might even be working with? Whatever they are accusing Mr. Mkhunu for, it's possible that the president might be working with this Mr. Mkhunu. So how do you suspend that guy? Right? As a result, the taxpayer must fit the bill for 2 ministers. Right? But like I say, guys, it's the, and I even wrote this down, it's the last kick of a dying horse. The ANC is done. What you're seeing, all of these things, as much as they anger us, but we should also look at the other side of the coin. These actions are the last kick of a dying horse. That thing called the ANC is done, and they're about to go out, right? And what I love the most, that the breakaway parties from the ANC, EFF, MK, and the like, right, they are in disarray, they're in tatters. So it's not like one of those parties are gonna win the election. It's gonna be someone totally different, right? And that's what I love, you see. And that's what I love, because anyone else besides the ANC, MK, and EFF is better for SA. Anyone else, that's the level we're at right now. Anyone else is better than these 3, you see. So the ANC knows that they're about to go out, and their mindset is, let's loot as much as we can before we go out, because in 2029 it's done. We'll probably be at 28% nationally, and the DA is probably going to be even higher than us, right? Especially when Helen Zille becomes mayor of Johannesburg and actually makes a real change in Johannesburg, and people start seeing the real change in Johannesburg, right? And everyone, or even the most diehard ANC people, are like, they can't fight it anymore, right? If the DA is doing so much change. Remember, a lot of people have never been to Cape Town, so they've never seen how amazing Cape Town is because of the DA. But if the DA can be in charge of Joburg and actually make a real dent there in terms of service delivery before the 2029 election, oh boy, it's going to be flames for the ANC. That's my wish, that's my hope, right? So I got this, that like I just want to show you how low we've gotten, right, as a political society, right? John Voster was the Prime Minister of South Africa, and I think later the State President of South Africa. I think they changed the term, or there was a time when there was both the Prime Minister and State President, right? But John Voster, basically, I'm going to summarize quickly, was involved in something whereby government funds were used to create an English newspaper for propaganda, an English newspaper that would push the National Party agenda in society, right? But investigations happened, and it was proven that he was involved, and guess what? He resigned. Listen to that, right? Firstly, I said a lot there. Investigations were done, which already means that the investigation, the cops, the NPA was really independent. If they could find a sitting state president as guilty, right, it tells you that you had moral people running these things, right? That's what it tells you. And secondly, that same president himself, instead of waiting to be pushed out, he actually resigns. Imagine a world whereby an ANC president could resign because there's a dark cloud over him. Never. Because these people are there for just looting. Why would a person who's there for looting resign? That person will only wait to be pushed out, right? Because the only reason he's there is to take. You see? So yeah, that's it, guys. That's just all I wanted to talk about. Let's not have high hopes for this Catalia person. He's gonna be useless. He's an ANC cadre. A lot of people have already said that. He's just sent there to protect the interests of the ANC, so that more looting can happen within the police, and to make sure that no one who's really serious can continue fighting people like Mkwanazi and the like. That's all he's there. He's there to manage those people, right? I'm not saying in whatever profession he studied he's useless. When I say useless, I'm talking about in the police, right? I'm not a police officer, so I have no business being a minister of the police because I'm not competent in that area, right? And if I were to take a job like that, I'm one of the worst human beings in the world, especially since people die every day because of police-related incompetence, right? So for you to even take that guy, to me, is the biggest piece of scum, like scum of the earth, right? For you to take a job like that when you know that competence is required to actually make a real dent in crime, and you still take a job like that. But anyway, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please give me your opinion, guys. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.